MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by The Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. All right, how we doing? Interesting start to today's session following some strong supply push yesterday. Had a little bit of continuation of that volatility from yesterday, creating a wide opening range for today's session. And NQ has been holding a small range inside of that, mostly dropping its inventory and supply. A slight difference with or with the other indices, where they were like after 7, they began to lift their supply and inventory back towards their power range high. Started to see this right before the open. We did start to see some lift of the supply for NQ, and now we're trading back towards that overnight inventory with a volume gap below 888. So we're currently holding inventory right there at 13,890. Let's see where we go from here. Below all of our automation, there should be some automation below us. But right now, structure is below A1 and some other automation points. Nice little supply response off of A1. It's a T1 for me. Seeing some volume building right there at 896. I don't have my right tool. Covered into some strength there. Took a nice little supply to inventory scalp there. Now we're back at supply. See if we get another supply response. Still seeing a supply response. They're kind of lifted the supply just above the A1 high. Just that. Still holding this range, holding this shop. Still trading inside of this shop here. Not a whole lot of energy to get RTH going. Had a slight boost of participation yesterday, of course, with the excitement breaking that key the level that I marked off in the, all of my platforms pretty much, but Twitter and in the Discord. I noted a key level, a key period level, key pivot level of 13,737. And of course, we had a lot of participants waiting to see what was going to happen there. A lot of participation off of that break. So we did get a little bit of excess or extra participation compared to what we've been seeing over the past few weeks. But it seems like we're back to the normal low participation so far. It's all the excitement from yesterday settles down, and participants just wants to see where the market is going from here. It's giving us the slow start to the session, and with this low participation, it's interesting reading comments, over the different internet sources. I was reading some Reddits yesterday where there wasn't a whole lot of excitement amongst some retail traders for trading the futures indices. But that's all a matter of perspective, and it's subjective because, yeah, sure, it's been slow compared to like last year before, this little period that we're in now, where we got this low participation period that we're in now. But there's still a lot to see. It just depends on what you're looking for, I guess. And there's never been I've seen different, several different cycles of the quote-unquote market, right? Mainly focusing on NQ, and there's never been a time where I didn't see there was nothing to learn, right, or nothing to gain from my participation as a retail trader. And then the biggest benefit, of course, for me has been how the market serves as a mirror. For instance, I realized this week I had a rough start to this week, and it was due to a lack of patience. And then I can see that being, I can see that in other areas of my life where my patience has been, I haven't been as patient as I usually am or would like to be. So the market has been a good way to let me know what, certain things or whatever, things that I need to work on, whether it's with trading or outside of trading. So now we finally broke outside of that shop, made our way back to VWAP. I also decided I'm just going to start calling all of these points automation, with the exception of kind of one of the main ones that I look at, which I refer to as A1. There's some quick inventory off of 904. Another key point of interest that I'll be looking at if we make it up there. Where is it? It's at 940, to where we have volume significantly dropping off. Taking a quick look at ES, I see they had a dip at the open, while NQ was just ranging out. I'm looking at a supply base of 910. Yeah, that's still holding. So we close and hold. There we go, about 920. That'll be a rotation. Rotation for a long bias. And again, that's just based off of things that I look at. Doesn't necessarily have to apply to what you're doing, so trade your strategy. Stick to what you do. A decent supply response at 928, right below the PR50 of 930. Making our way back to VWAP. Got some automation congregation here at 912 for a quick inventory response. Dipping inside of A1. Interesting volume building there, right below 916. Negotiating this little range here, that little zone. Took it to some lower inventory. Sure, we know we got new participation above 910. Still dropping the inventory. I haven't set a new supply base yet. So old supply base is there at 904. season supply or inventory. My bad. Our season inventory is still at 890. Continue to drop the inventory. It's a nice steady grind lower. We're past the 15-minute mark for A period. Off that print, I can set an inventory base, new quick inventory base at 13,893. See how long we hold it. Still seeing an inventory response there. I don't have any triggers, I'm just watching. Make sure when I get my setups that I continue to take them. I don't get trigger shy. I'm going to maintain consistency to the strategy. Back to that inventory base. Harvest. Bit of negotiating there. Still getting the inventory, getting a response off of that base. The way this is trading, I wouldn't be surprised to see today's session maintain hold a range. But it's showing the print to where it wants to. The print is showing that it wants to go lower. All right, so now we're making our way inside of that volume gap below the season inventory that we had at 890. this kind of price action, I would personally like to see a bit more of a pullback before I start really looking for a trigger in either direction. Not really getting that so far. Now we're just holding negotiation right here at this 890 level. Just dipped our toes in that volume gap range below 888. And we're using that as picking up some inventory there. Let's make our way back to A1. It's above 896 if we're going to make it back up there. Into that inventory and see if we actually get some momentum off of this towards the session low. Little spike of the volatility coming into my B-force break period. And also, I forgot to mention, so there is Powell at 11, so that could explain why they're kind of holding this up. Or the way I would look at this is positioning for the pre-planned volatility off of the Powell news. So off this news, we can, I can anticipate some volatility. It's not necessarily that, anyone is going to respond to what he says. It's more so like there's something happening that gives us an excuse to do something. So, this could be why, this could be a reflection as to why we're seeing this low participation. In A period. Wouldn't really surprise me to see some movement right, before that happens. Like a brief push of the volatility before that happens. And I put that in my notes. So the thing that I post on, pretty much the thing that I post to TradingView, I put the whole Powell thing at 11 there, but I forgot to do it this morning's power range report. Or the pre-market awareness report. Went back to the old name. Let's find an inventory off the session low. Drop the inventory to 880, just below 880. Got 5 minutes before B period. With everything that I just mentioned, I might be done for the day actually early, because I definitely can't trade after 11 today. Definitely we'll be checking in after 11 to see what takes place, what kind of price action we get after that, after Powell does his thing. But I'm gonna watch this through B period and see if we get something that I'd be interested in trading. Because right now I'm just not getting the structure that I want to see, that I would want to see. The structure price action combination that I would want to see. And plus I'm in my at this point, I did get one about a minute ago, but I'm inside of my break period now. So even if I wanted to take that, I couldn't. Want to be consistent to my rules. I'm always talking about consistency. Been the most important thing for my trading journey. It's being consistent. Whether it's just being consistent to my strategy or being consistent to my routine. I know any slight break of the consistency has a negative impact on my overall P&L. And it's kind of worse when you get rewarded for that inconsistency. So I've had times in the past to where I wasn't consistent. I've had times in the past to where I wasn't consistent to what I'm supposed to be doing. But then I actually make money off of that lack of consistency, which builds a bad habit, which at some point I end up paying for it. So that's why I made consistency as a everyday thing, which kind of gave birth to the whole fit trader movement. To where I try to practice consistency in everything that I do throughout my day. Everything that's anywhere that I can be consistent to something. I try to do that, so that can bleed over into my trading. So when that final minute before B period, there's a nice response off of the A1 high. Let's see if the B force comes in. Getting a little bit of volatility pickup. If I wasn't in my break period, that would have been a trigger for me. So Hindsight Capital says I got at least 3 triggers there. Kept me on the sideline until my break period, and then this is when the times where it feels personal. So 15 seconds, I am seeing like some little micro volatility spikes. And it's a good thing that I did take my break there, because that would have been a loser for me. Or maybe not. Depends on what kind of focus and awareness I had at that point. Because I actually could have probably taken a little scalp there. So it is a mild volatility response as we transition into B period. Make sure to leave a mental note so I can put that in a journal later. All right, going back into that session low. Another inventory response off the session low. Relatively strong inventory response off the session low. Going back into our supply of 896. I just had the weirdest thing happen for me, so that's a good sign that I need to be done for the day, because I pulled my trigger, but only one account was actually, gave me a feel, or I didn't get anything in Sierra chart with, that was weird. And then my window changed for some reason. So I hit the trigger, and I only got a response from multi-charts. Sierra chart didn't do anything. None of my windows, none of my accounts even triggered an order out of the 4 Sierra chart trade windows I got up. That was a weird technical issue, so let me do some testing real quick before I call it a day. I would think that was my trade copier, but it only happened, that was specific to the Sierra chart, because the non-Sierra chart trade window actually did what it was supposed to do. And of course that happens, interestingly, that happens right before this. I took that short and got this nice sell-off, and I had to miss it. Very interesting. I'll be lying if I didn't say that didn't feel personal. It felt super personal, but I gotta remind myself that it's not. But it is very interesting. So, of course, everything works now after the fact. So, anyway, it is what it is. So that is the volatility that I didn't expect. Before I said it, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, some sort of movement before the whole 11 period, like other than some sort of lift of the dissipation, or however you want to call it, right? And we did get a nice little move lower. It was about a 20-point move, almost a 20-point move off of the break into the session low. So I wouldn't expect that to continue. However, anything is possible. And I wouldn't be surprised if it slows down again for the next hour or so. But like I say, anything is possible. So it's good to be prepared for anything. It just sucks that I wasn't able to take that like I was supposed to, or like I was positioned to, just because of a strange mechanical issue or technical issue. Never had that happen. And after something like that, that's definitely a trigger for me to not take any more trades, because it's easy when things like that happen. It's easy to get the emotions going and start trading emotionally. Regardless of how long one has been at this business and how much a person has seen. Being human, it's still easy to get those emotions triggered. So for me personally, following an event like that, I'm already green for the day. You know, of course, I would like to have more. I would have liked to have that move right there that would have gave me a nice little payout, but there's no need to get emotionally triggered and then end up giving it back, or, you know, start making mistakes and all that stuff. So I'm saying all that to say that I'm done trading for the day. So we did make our wait for a slight supply lift back into that to retest that overnight low. So while I was being thrown off by that technical issue, we kind of did a front run of that, to retest that area. Then we came back and we got a full supply response off the previous, or off the overnight low. And the print is showing that it potentially wants to go back and maybe drop the inventory. It's a nice mechanical response off of PR -1 at 861.5. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time getting over that technical issue. This is why I take my hands off the trigger. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and close my trade copier, just so I don't get triggered into some, you know, I'm saying all that, but of course there will be more opportunities to take more trade. It'll be good setups, you know, in the near future. I could get some more good setups within this B period if I wanted to keep trading. I understand, you know, maintaining awareness to the potential for there still to be some good trades to take for my strategy, for what I like to do. But just because, you know, my emotions the potential for my emotions to be triggered in a way that could be counterproductive. And I'm at the, you know, my trade window closes, especially on a Friday, just because I gotta go to work later. It closes in the next, 6 minutes. And there's no reason for me to just do something that historically not worked out for me personally. So we making our way back inside that range, back inside the opening range, back above the overnight high. So now we're just doing some negotiating at the overnight high, or at the overnight low. See, you got me using the wrong words. So now we briefly traded above the overnight low. Now we're back below it, back below A1. Somewhat turning off the mechanical nature that we've saw leading into this. And with the way market making, like I speak about mechanical responses and stuff like that, and like mechanical responses to these automation points. And then how I just mentioned that the automation is off, or the mechanics are off. But it's not necessarily, so the way that I really see it is, I don't necessarily see it as an on off type of thing. I see it more so as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a buffer zone that's created around these automation points so they widen the space or the range for a mechanical response. And mechanical response is just, algorithms that have, been programmed to do a certain thing based off of qualitative information. So while, let's just say for instance, you may see a supply response off of A1, and it's to the tick of A1, one of the A1 points. However, it later on, it may go 10 points higher or 5 points higher than those, indicators. It wasn't, so I see that as not necessarily that the mechanics that are built around those indicators were turned off or on. It's more so like they have a cushion that they can use, a range that they can use. Whoever builds automated trading systems off of these indicators, they have a system that they can use to where you can have the point plus or minus X amount of ticks of points, if that makes sense. So it looks like we're not trading mechanically anymore, even though it still is trading mechanically. So that's why I look at these indicators as ranges and zones and not just, specified points. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close up the shop for the day. I appreciate everybody for coming through and watch me struggle through this trading day. Now, it wasn't really a struggle, it was just that one little technical issue. But with all that being said, I hope everybody have a good rest of the day and a good weekend. And until the next time, trade it easy.